Hello and welcome to episode 5 of my Threat Hunters Odyssey video series. Now, this is just a video blog where I'm trying to become the best threat hunter possible. So what I'm going to do is, through this process of learning and sharing on my journey, I'm hoping that I will improve my skills, and I'll also share something back to the larger Elastic community. So this is a part of contributing back to the Elastic community. So what I'm doing here is I'm starting with a couple things. I'm going to use this quick start guide here. In my previous videos, I talked you through how to create an Elastic account, how to create an Elastic deployment. I'm using 8.10, and I'm using this quick start because I just want to show how easy it is to get logs and metrics into Elastic. So a couple of prerequisites. There's actually a lot of prerequisites. You have to have some place where you can run a Linux server, and you have that Linux server in a place where you have root level access. You can install an agent. It has network connectivity to your Elastic deployment, and within that Elastic deployment, you have these prerequisites they lay out. You have Elasticsearch installed, you have Kibana, you have an integration server. So all of those things by default, hopefully you would have set up in my previous video. If not, I recommend you go back to that. There are some steps in Elastic here that we're going to go over in the next video. But in this video, we're just going to we're going to get you set up using the free tier AWS. That's where I work in AWS every day. We're going to have you set up a couple of things that are prerequisites. So I'm going to just quickly talk through those things because in my blog, I'm going to provide detailed screenshots on how to set that up. But here's my blog right here, at least in its current format as of today. You're going to set up a free tier AWS account. And I'll add some screenshots after this video. You're going to create an IAM user. So this link will take you to, and I'm just going to open this up in an incognito window here. It'll take you to a page where you'll sign up for a free tier account. Now, a couple of things to think about here. It will ask you for a credit card. You will set up a user, what's called the root user account, using an email address, because it's going to need to verify you as a person via that email address. Again, it's going to ask for a credit card, but everything I'm going to ask you to do during this two-part tutorial series and kind of from here on out is just to use the free tier, because at the time of this video, if you stay within the free tier, you have up to a year using the free tier account resources to play in AWS. So you saw on that previous screen, it'll ask for an email address, it'll ask for an account ID, it'll ask you to verify your identity. You'll choose the basic plan. Once you've created your free tier AWS account, what you're going to do is you're going to sign in. You're going to create a IAM user account, and I'm not going to show you this because I'll put more detailed screenshots. Because these are all prerequisite items that you'll want to go through. You want to create an IAM user. You'll want to select programmatic access for the access type, and you're just for the purposes of these two videos. You want to choose administrator access policy and the ability to change your password, and I'll provide some screenshots on that. Normally, you would not do that because this is a IAM user with an extreme amount of rights. Typically, you want to create a user that just has enough rights. And if you did have a user account with this level of access, you'll want to safeguard those credentials because there's a lot you can do with this account at this point. Next thing is you're going to install the AWS CLI. I use Mac. I provided the commands to download it using curl and install it here. I've already got it installed, so here I'm going to clear. Okay, so I've gone through this process. I've already installed AWS CLI. I've been using it, but let's say, for example, I've just gone through the process of running these 2 commands here to download it and install it. To verify that I have it installed, I just type which AWS, and you'd see that it's installed in user local bin AWS. And the next thing I would do is type AWS -- version. Okay. Now, back when you installed or created your IAM user in your free tier account, you should have gotten 2 things: an access key and a secret key. Now, this is not the most ideal way of running IAM. Most organizations have AWS paired with Okta or some other MFA solution or some other cloud SSO solution, because this is just a really simple sandbox. And just to keep things simple, because as you can tell, this is already a very, very complex set of prerequisites you have to have. We're going to go ahead and just use access key and secret key. All right. But you'll want to run the AWS configure command, and it'll allow you to tie your access key, secret key to the AWS CLI environment. And then it'll allow you to specify default region and default output format. Whenever you run the AWS CLI command, it'll either give you, I've chosen JSON as my default format. And again, I'll have more screenshots. Last thing before we get started here, you have to install in Terraform and make sure that Terraform is running. And I provided a link for that. Okay, so now if you've got all these prerequisites done, then the last thing that we're going to talk about in this video is I've provided the sample Terraform code, which creates an AWS instance. Oh, I always forget. Last thing, I always forget this because I've already, by default, I have this set up on my machine, is you have to have a SSH key. And I'll provide a link for how to create an SSH key. In fact, it's really simple. There's some awesome instructions. I always follow, let me see. I'll just Google it right now. DigitalOcean creating an SSH key. Or generating an SSH key. That's probably. Okay. So, and I'm going to refine this because they provide really good examples. In my time over the last few years, DigitalOcean has some great documentation. All right. So if you follow these guys, and I'll put this in as a link in the video and in my blog here, it'll take you through creating an SSH key, right? So just to go back to this, what this Terraform card will do is it'll create the EC2 instance, and it'll pair your public key from your SSH keys to that EC2 instance. So that automatically, I should be able to SSH in. Okay, so let's go ahead. So what you want to do is take your favorite IDE. You want to create a file in a directory. So whenever I do development, I always have I have a dev directory. I had one called Elastic subdirectory in that, and I call it Elastic Security POC, right? Because this is what is the POC. So I'm going to use the file name elastic instance.tf, and I've already got VS Code opened, and you can see here's the code, right? It creates a key pair using my SSH public key. It's on my Mac. Creates this EC2 instance, creates a security group, which opens up these ports inbound. And last thing, I do think I'm going to need outbound everywhere. Terraform security group, outbound. Let's see. I'm just looking up a quick example because we will need out. I'm pretty sure we're going to need outbound everywhere. It's right now. This is not set up for that. A little freeforming here in the video. And security group, blah, blah, blah. Goals to existing security group. Just look for if I can find one that's like just an example, allowing I'm just looking for a really good example here that I can just pop in here because we just need outbound. Any. Okay. We're going to. Okay. Let's copy this. We're going to need one. Just completely freeforming here. So we know we need to create an egress rule. Egress. Just need a default egress rule. Okay, here we go. Okay. So egress from port 0, protocol. This will give us a default egress role because we're going to need to be able to make call outs to the Elastic package manager so we can pull down the agent. So this will just allow us to do that. Okay. We may have to make some adjustments on the fly in our next video, but let's go ahead and give this a try. So we're going to go. So I'm going to make sure this is saved. and Terraform init. Terraform plan. Let's see if it throws any errors here. So those are our ingress roles. Here's our single egress role. It allows us to go anywhere. Okay, let's try Terraform apply. Test. It's creating a key pair, creating our web server, our EC2 instance. It should be tying our key pair to our EC2 instance so we can SSH in. And then it's creating the web server. Okay. So this may take a little bit of time. So I'm just going to go back to our original overview. So we are creating this EC2 instance. In our next video, the instance should be created. We're going to verify that we're going to log in. Then we're going to log into Elastic, and we're going to go ahead and do some of this pre-work here, where we're going to add the Elastic agent system integration, right? Which will allow us to install and run an agent on our machine. Hopefully, we're just going to literally follow these instructions. And then we're going to see that hopefully our logs are being ingested, but we'll see that. We're going to follow this in our next video. So stay tuned. Next video, we'll have an EC2 instance and we'll log into Elastic.